Welcome to another episode of Progress, Potential, and Possibilities, discussions with fascinating people designing a better tomorrow for all of us. I'm your host, Ira Pastor.
Welcome, everybody, again to our show, bringing you another very interesting guest tonight. Today, we are headed over to Japan on our show, and I have the honor of meeting and being joined by Dr. Masayuki Goto, who is a director of the Space Medical Accelerator. This is an organization he was involved in founding in 2022, and they have a mission to keep people healthy in space and to develop terrestrial medicine utilizing space technology and research. Dr. Goto is a medical doctor who was trained as a neurosurgeon and recently was certified by the Japanese Society of Aerospace Medicine and Environmental Medicine as a space medicine researcher, and he has degrees from University of Tsukuba and Yamagata University. Please welcome Dr. Masayuki Goto to our show.
Thank you so much for such a great opportunity. I'm Masayuki Goto, founder and representative director of Space Medical. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about my business with the space industry as a healthcare worker. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Goto. I was wondering if we could start off by you talking just a little bit about your background, how you became interested in medicine and neuroscience and neurosurgery. We'd very much like to hear that story first.
Okay. When I first aimed to be a doctor after I graduated high school, I couldn't enter my first choice for University of Arts and Science. I considered what should I live to do. As a result, to become a doctor made me feel to be useful for both. When I was a medical student, I rotated many diagnosis and treatment department. I was particularly attracted by neurosurgery because beautiful of the microscopic operative view. In fact, the beauty and mysticism of brain and space are almost the same for me. I thought I could save patients whose lives were in danger by learning surgical techniques, and I choose neurosurgery. I choose my neurosurgery as my career.
Wonderful. And I noticed that as I mentioned, you became specialized recently by the Japanese Society of Aerospace Medicine. When did you first develop an interest in space medicine as you were also pursuing a career in neurosurgery?
And 2019. In those time, I was a neurosurgeon. I was facing with difficulty that many patients were seriously disabled with palsy and verbal disorders even if I provided most suitable medical care. At that time, the space business began to gain momentum around the world. For some reason, I was strongly drawn to it. I knew very little about space at the time, but as I learned, I knew that a lot of research was being done in microgravity that could lead to solutions to medical problems that couldn't be solved on the ground. And the time would come when not only healthy astronauts, but also many people with some kind of illness or handicap could go and stay in space. I couldn't stay and started thinking about how I could improve there. Up to that time, in order to improve space as a healthcare worker, we had only become astronaut or researcher in the national facility or so. But now the way challenge is not limited to those. Business power is strongly asked to space exploration. So I decided to be involved space from the business position.
Excellent. And I noticed, I was looking at some of your publications with regard to some of the human research that you've already started on in aerospace medicine and human performance. One paper you studied the principles of headaches that happen frequently during space flight. Another presentation you gave recently was on lower back injury and spinal cord injury during space flight. Talk a little bit about some of the work that you've been doing in this area, if you could.
Thank you for reading my paper of space headache. So about space headache, as a neurosurgeon, I'm interested in how the human brain changes in space. The subject of image analysis of the space headache with MRI. Although it is not well known, severe headaches occur to about 70% of astronauts in space. The reasons for this are still unclear, but hypothesis to fluid shift or altered sensory input to the visual or vestibular systems due to microgravity. Sounds, visual due to space states in the famous human brain programs in space. But space headache is also an important problem to be solved. So I conducted MRI research with head-down bed rest, 10 degrees head-down from horizontal position. This method is established as golden standard, which can be mimic of body fluid shift in space. That is fluid toward head in space. I analyzed the MRI data of patient with head-down bed rest and compared them with patients who were in a horizontal position. As a result, it became clear that partly similar changes occurred in the brain of patients occurred headache by head down and in the brain of migraineurs. I think this result would lead to clarification of the pathological of space headache and development of treatment method in the future. I think it is important to assure that people with headaches and other diseases can safely go into space.
So could you introduce us to space Medical Accelerator and how you went about setting it up initially in 2022.
Oh, okay. As I talked, I wanted to improve space industry as a healthcare worker. So what can I do? I was thinking then. So business power was required in that. I wanted to be a first person to do that. That is the first reason for my beginning.
And could you say a few words about the Japanese Space Exploration Agency, or JAXA, especially because a lot of our audience is based here in the United States and maybe more familiar with NASA. Could you just give us a little bit of the landscape of the Japanese space industry in 2024 and who some of your partners may be for the Space Medical Accelerator?
Okay. Um, our current business is providing professional medical knowledge to clients, such as companies aiming for space market in medical field. Uh, we are a team of doctors and other specialists in space medicine, and we provide companies with medical knowledge on the latest trends in research and business, on-site needs, and future issue in the form of support for new business development and lecture seminars. So companies, our client is various type of companies, such as pharmaceutical companies and sensing device technology companies and food companies, many companies. I want to accelerate various kind of companies uh, to try space market, and I want to create the world people will go to space easily and do business activity in there. So as the recent topic, we will participate expert as an expert company in human in space, a global platform that challenges medical issues in space, sponsored by Orion in South Korea, healthcare industry, healthcare invest company. Human in space challenges is an idea competition that support startup and researchers tackling space healthcare and medical challenges associated with deep space, human exploration, and healthcare issues on the ground by utilizing space. This year will be third year of the program. The application period for 2024 human in space from May 1st to June last day. And we partnered with Human in Space as an expert company in space medicine and healthcare. So in this program, where startup and researchers from all over the world gather, we will provide knowledge of space medicine and support the realization.
Your presentation at Boryung Human in Space Challenge, and you talk about two categories of critical problems in space and critical problems on Earth. and I thought we could go into both of these on the show. Maybe we could start off with critical problems in space and hear you talk about discovering answers to human health, not just human health, but various human activities in space, including, of course, space medicine, but also how we produce food, different biologic responses to the things that happen to us in space. Talk a little bit about what you presented per critical problems in space.
Okay. Um, okay. But first, I will explain major medical issue in space.
Sure.
ISS, which is about 400 kilometers above the ground,
Yep.
has three features that are very different from those on the ground. Microgravity, space radiation, and closed environment. They have a significant impact on human body. I note the effect of space radiation the most because radiation dose is said to have the greatest effect on human duration in space. In the future, when human activities moves from low Earth orbit to the Moon and Mars, the radiation dose will increase far more than it does now because of the long stay and the disappearance of the Earth's magnetic field. The radiation dose on the Moon's surface is about 420 millisieverts per year, and to Mars and back over 600 millisieverts. On ISS, now, astronauts are exposed to 0.5 to 1 millisievert of space radiation per day, equivalent to half a year of natural radiation on the ground. But because of the long-term cancer, because of the long-term cancer risk, astronauts are closely monitored, for radiation dose. So, I think as a grand application leading to health management and effective shielding technology for medical and other radiation workers. We are interested in solving this problem, for example, by developing new space suits that can block space radiation more effectively. We want to support these companies.
You also present, per the challenge topics, on the dual use or the critical problems on Earth. Radiation, obviously, will impact the astronauts, but also, we have uses for radiation protection on Earth. Some of the other topics that you are interested in are pharmaceutical manufacturing, cell culture. Talk a little bit about some of the important critical problems on Earth and some of these dual use opportunities.
I'm thinking the top of priority of healthcare in space from now on is preventive medicine. There are few medical resources in space, such as medical staff or large medical equipment like MRI, CT scan, like on Earth. In there, it is very important to be healthy and not to be ill. In addition, early detection of symptoms of disease and early intervention are crucial. But in fact, that is not only situation in space, but in medically unsatisfactory area on the ground, such as countryside or isolated island, where often progress aging. So, for example, sensor technology that seems not to make us feel wearing to enable early detection of a physical disorder. Also, AI technology that can autonomically treat the condition on site. Uh, in fact, we have proposed at an academic conference with a Japanese company that has micro-sized blood flow measurement sensor technology to use it for autonomic monitoring of astronaut at EVA in space.
Many members are there of the Space Medical Accelerator currently? I know you are the founder of the organization, but how many team members do you have, and what are their backgrounds?
Oh, our team member is now about uh, 15 or so, 15 to 20, I think. Most of members are doctors, physicians, cardiologists, and psychologists, also various specialty they have. And but not only physicians, but researcher, some kind of researcher like uh, gene research using mouse, uh, aging medicine researcher in Japanese university in the University of Tokyo, and engineer which has specialty of satellite. Various members now we in our team now.
Mhm. And Dr. Goto, I noticed that you have been attending many symposium on space business. I saw that last month you visited Axiom Space, one of the uh, private space station companies here in the United States. What else is coming up for you in terms of the Space Medical Accelerator, any other initiatives, conferences that you're going to be attending during 2024 that we should know about?
Oh, okay. Uh, as you say, we have regularly organized symposium event to deepen the understanding of the space industry in relation to medical field for companies in Japan. Uh, the the theme is space life science experiment or healthcare needed in space travel or so. They were well accepted by many participants. We are also making proposal to our government, Japanese government's policy about space industry and submitting public comment. We think to continue to make strong effort to this activity. And as you said, we visited the U.S. Headquarters of Axiom Space last month. Uh, they are a sponsor of our recent spring symposium, uh, space travel business and new medical treatment. Uh, we were given we were given a tour inside the factory where a new station is being developed,
Yep.
and had a fruitful exchange of views on life science research in low Earth orbit and the potential challenges for Japanese companies and researchers. Uh, we are building a network with reading action space overseas players like them for the activation of low Earth orbit business in the near future. We are we discuss now many other company in foreign company.
Yeah, it's I did a show with Axiom a few months ago, and it's exciting to see you working with them, especially because low Earth orbit is where I guess that's the first the first place space tourism is going to ultimately go. So that's very
Yes,
exciting
yes,
that
yes.
you
I
think
see.
about this. Yeah. It's a very exciting set of projects. I'm very happy to see uh thought leaders like yourself thinking about the requirements that there will be for many of us as we head towards low Earth orbit and further into space. And I really wish you and your team the best as you continue to grow and do these partnerships in Japan and around the world. So very exciting work. Um, for everybody that is going to be listening to this podcast across the various networks or who will be watching on our YouTube channel, you've been listening to Dr. Masayuki Goto, Director, Founder, Space Medical Accelerator in Japan. Dr. Goto, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on this episode of the show to tell us what you have going on. Obviously, thank you for everything you do to improve health in space as well as on Earth. And as we like to say on our show, thank you for creating a better tomorrow via the research that you do. Very, very exciting story.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We want to last these activities and contribute to development of space industry from the medical field.